Choosing identity verification software is a high-stakes task, so having clear selection criteria is a must. In this video, I'll walk you through the 9-step process I'd use to evaluate an IDV solution. Hello everybody, and welcome to the Regula channel. I'm Henry Patishman, Executive VP of Identity Verification Solutions at Regula. We came up with this process when we realised our customers were struggling when evaluating various IDV tools, to find the one that fits them best. Maybe it's a struggle for you as well. The assumption here is that you have already done the BA work to understand your company's IDV needs, so let's dive right into the key steps of the selection process. Step 1 is all about the capture stage. Let's break this down. In the current digital age, how you capture documents can make or break the whole process. There are two things your identity verification solution should nail. First, it needs to instantly recognize the provided document. No extra steps like choose your document type or country. That's just wasting the user's time and hurting conversion rates. Second, assessing the quality of the image. Bad cameras, poor lighting, glares, or wonky angles can mess things up. You don't want your users endlessly retaking photos, do you? The best solutions out there can automatically fine-tune the image for you, adjust brightness and contrast, remove glares, or straighten out that crooked shot. Remember, the smoother the capture process, the happier your users will be. Step 2, and this one's a crucial checkpoint. You need to test drive the included document authenticity checks. When it comes to verifying identity documents, you want your solution to be rock solid. Ideally, your IDV solution is a powerhouse that offers checks for both international standards and local quirks. The more checks it runs, the more confident you can be about the verification results. Top-notch vendors perform a long list of checks and do massive cross-checks comparing data from different elements to ensure everything lines up. I've added a link to the current full scope of necessary checks in the comments below this video. Step 3. Check if your solution can work with RFID chips. RFID chips in modern electronic ID documents are encoded with all of the important holder data. Usually, you need special passport readers or the NFC technology built into mobile phones to read this information. But if it's a user's phone doing the job, there's a risk here that fraudsters might try to intercept and mess with the verification results. Not good, right? That's why the data from the chip needs to be re-verified just to make sure it hasn't been cloned or tampered with. Let me give you an example. In Regula's case, we re-verify RFID sessions on the server side, in addition to what's happening on the mobile. All can be done on premises with the results stored securely on your server. That's like having your own vault for data verification. Super reliable, super secure. Step 4 is about biometric checks. You also need to make sure that the ID belongs to the person who's handing it over. That's where biometric checks come into play. For most businesses, face biometrics is enough. The user snaps a selfie and the tech works its magic, comparing that photo with the ones on the ID document, like the visual inspection zone and the RFID chip. However, a good face biometric module doesn't just match faces. It checks if that selfie is real. Attackers try all sorts of tricks, from edited photos to masks and even deepfakes. Your identity verification solution should be highly adept at detecting these irregularities. Now, there are two types of liveness verification: passive and active. Passive involves using a static selfie, while active liveness requires the user to perform simple movements, like rotating their head. The latter is currently more reliable. Step 5. Dive into the supported documents list. The database should be packed with details about every document out there. Layout, fields, how they record data, security features, you name it. Building a database like this takes a ton of resources and a solid background in document forensics. The database should be really extensive. Even within one country, you can have multiple versions of documents, depending on when it was issued. And with identity documents being updated all the time, you want a database that's updated too. The Regula database currently contains over 13,000 templates and is growing daily. Step 6. Implementation time. Now let's get real for a second. Having reliable, thorough checks is good, but if the integration process takes forever and blows your budget, well, that's a problem. You're feeling the heat from all sides here. Regulators want their requirements met ASAP. Your product and workflows might need some customizing to fit in with the identity verification solution. And let's not forget about the learning curve. Some solutions can be pretty complex, and that can drag things out. Step 7 is all about checking the compliance of the workflows. When it comes to dealing with your customer's personal data during identity verification, there are two main approaches. First, you've got the software as a service scenario. Here, vendors handle all the storage and processing of your customer's data on their own infrastructure. Second, there's the on-premises approach. This is where you keep and process your customer's data within your own perimeter. SaaS is convenient because it saves you time and the expenses, but you've got to make sure your customer's information is in good hands. Ultimately, you still carry the responsibility for your customer data, even though you have no real control. On the flip side, the on-premises option emphasizes data privacy and security. Since no third parties have access to personal data, it cuts down the risk of breaches. In this case, you're responsible for maintaining the infrastructure and sticking to security policies, but you have full control. Step 8. Contact support. Responsive and professional tech support can save you a ton of time, effort, and headaches. Also, you want a vendor with clear documentation on their website, instructions, guides, and FAQs. Good documentation should answer 90% of your questions. Finally, one last thing. It's always good to have a vote of confidence from companies who have been there and done that. Do your research. Hunt down as many reviews about the vendor as you can. Your first stop can be the case study section on the vendor's website. Look for stories from customers dealing with similar challenges. If you're a crypto platform gearing up for KYC, then KYC success stories from banks might bring you some insights. Pay attention to who the vendor's customers are. If you spot some big names or organizations like border controls on the list, that's a great sign. Those folks have the toughest requirements for identity verification. So if the vendor cooperates with them, you're onto something good. Also, dig into what the media is saying, especially industry outlets that write about identity verification and cybersecurity. In sources like Biometric Update, HelpNet Security, InfoSecurity Magazine, and others, you'll find plenty of hands-on insights. And that was pretty much the process we advise our customers to work through. If you want to learn more about some of these steps, you're welcome to check the link below with the guide on choosing the right IDV software. And see you in the next videos.